Hello dear students. As you know, in the previous video we discussed four properties of colloidal soul. The first one was a colligative property, the second one was the optical property, that was the Tyndall effect, the third one was the color, and fourth was the mechanical property, that is the Brownian movement. Clear? Now in today's lecture we are going to discuss the fifth property, that is charges on colloidal particles. Now colloidal particles always carry electrical charge, either positive or negative. Clear? But in a given colloidal soul, all the particles will carry the same charge, same electrical charge, and that is why colloidal soul can be either positively charged or it can be negatively charged. So in your textbook, page number 142, on that one small table is given in which different examples of positively charged soul and negatively charged soul are given. Clear? So you have to remember that table for MCQs. Okay. Now, why does the colloidal particles have charge? So the reason for that is, first, the electron captured by soul particles during electrodispersion of metals. Electrodispersion of metal we have studied in the preparation of gold, silver or platinum soul by Bragg arc method. In that, electrodispersion takes place. So electron captured by soul particles during electrodispersion of metal, and that is why the particles of the colloid, they will become electrically charged. Second reason is preferential adsorption of ions from solution. Clear? The solution or the dispersion medium, from that medium or from that solution, there will be preferential adsorption of ions, means the selective adsorption of ions. So that we will discuss in detail. And third reason is the formulation of electrical double layer. This is also the part of the topic that we are going to discuss, how this electrical double layer is formed. So these are the three reasons for why the colloidal particles become electrically charged. Clear? Okay. Now for that we will go for the second method, that is preferential or the selective adsorption of ions from solution. Clear? Now here, if the solution contains two or more ions, then the colloidal particle will adsorb the ion from the solution which is common in it. Clear? So the common ion which is common to the colloidal particle, and the same ion is present in the dispersion medium also. So the adsorption of that common ion will take place on the surface of colloidal particle, and so it is called preferential adsorption. Clear? Example, suppose we have very dilute or highly dilute silver nitrate solution, and this solution is added to very dilute potassium iodide solution. So when these two solutions are mixed, then silver ion will combine with iodide ion and it will form silver iodide. Clear? This is a soul particle. Now this silver iodide, it will adsorb iodide ion. Iodide ion is present in the mixture. Clear? So this silver iodide, suppose it adsorbs iodide ion from the dispersion medium, then negatively charged soul is formed. Clear? But at the same time, suppose we reverse the case, means when the dilute potassium iodide solution is added to dilute silver nitrate solution, then also the soul particles of silver iodide are formed. But here these soul particles, they adsorbed potassium ion, that is positive ion from dispersion medium, and so this is called positively charged soul. Is that clear? So which ion will be adsorbed by the colloidal particle, it is decided by the particle itself. Clear? So here the colloidal soul which is formed, or the particle which is formed, is common, that is a silver iodide. Clear? But that silver iodide can absorb either iodide ion or potassium ion from the dispersion medium or from the mixture. Clear? And accordingly it can form negatively or positively charged salt. Let us take one more example. Suppose ferric chloride is added to excess of hot water. Clear? Then hydrated ferric oxide sol is formed. Now this sol will absorb Fe3 plus ions from the solution, from the mixture, from the dispersion medium. So positive sol is formed. Clear? But suppose ferric chloride is added to sodium hydroxide solution. Instead of excess of hot water, suppose we take sodium hydroxide solution. Then also same sol particles are formed, that is hydrated ferric oxide. But now here OH minus ions, negative ions are absorbed on the surface of this sol particle. So negative sol is formed. Clear? So these are the two examples in which how positive or negative sols are formed. Now, after this type of positive or negative sols are formed, how the formation of electrical double layer takes place. So that we are going to discuss in the next topic. So now here we will take the example of this. Clear? Suppose highly diluted silver nitrate solution is added to highly diluted potassium iodide solution and AgI solid. Clear? That is colloidal particles are formed, colloidal solution is formed. Clear? So this is a solid AgI. Now on the surface, suppose this is one particle or one precipitate we can say. So this is one colloidal particle. On the surface of this particle, suppose iodide ions are absorbed. So negatively charged colloid is formed. Clear? So iodide ions are formed or they are absorbed. Now these iodide ions, they will absorb the counter ions present in the solution, in the dispersion medium. Clear? So these iodide ions are negative ions. So obviously they will absorb their counter ions, means the positive ions from the dispersion medium. So here you can see the second layer of potassium ions is formed. And these are the ions which are randomly present in the mixture. Clear? In the dispersion medium. Now here this first layer, see this first layer, this layer is firmly held by the colloidal particle and this layer is called fixed layer. Clear? But the second layer, that is the layer of counter ions, so this layer is called diffused layer. Clear? So there are two formation of two layers. First is the fixed layer and the other is a diffused layer, and these two will form the double layer, electrical double layer. So this electrical double layer is known as Helmholtz electrical double layer. Clear? Now in this double layer, due to presence of negative and positive ions, potential difference is created. Now this potential difference is known as electrokinetic potential or zeta potential. Clear? So this is all about how the double layer is formed around the colloidal particle. Clear? Now, suppose there are some colloidal particles which do not have double layer. For example, suppose we have two particles, two colloidal particles which do not have double layer around them. Then what will happen? Then these particles are pulled by van der Waals force. They will come together, they will approach each other, they will come close to each other and they will be pulled together by van der Waals force of attraction, and that is why they will aggregate. Clear? Means they will precipitate out and so they will destroy the colloid. So the colloid will become unstable when there is no double layer formation. I told you in the beginning, this is suppose one colloidal particle of silver iodide. Now around this particle there is a formation of Helmholtz electrical double layer. But in the colloidal sol, there may be some particles or precipitates which do not have double layer. Then what will happen? If they don't have double layer, then they can be attracted by each other. They will come when they come close to each other, not attracted. When they come close to each other, then due to the van der Waals force of attraction, they will be pulled together. So they will aggregate, they will combine, and they will precipitate out. So this will destabilize the colloid. Clear? But if there is a formation of such double layer, then what is the advantage? Particles will repel each other. This because all particles have the same identical double layer of negative and positive ions. Clear? So these particles, they will repel each other when they come closer. Clear? So they will be repelled, and that is why they will remain dispersed and the colloid will remain stable. Clear? So for stability of the colloidal sole, the formation or existence of electrical double layer is essential. Clear? Okay. Third possibility to destroy, or the third way to destroy or destabilize the colloid is addition of electrolyte. Now here in bracket I have written more, because previously we have discussed that presence of the small quantity of electrolyte is required in order to stabilize the colloid. Clear? So, but here if the electrolyte is present in more quantity, then what will happen? Because of the more amount of the electrolyte, the ions, more ions will be there, positive and negative ions will be there in dispersion medium, and this will suppress the diffused layer. This diffused layer will get suppressed. Clear? And if it gets suppressed, then there will be reduction in the zeta potential. Clear? Zeta potential will reduce, and so what will happen? The comparatively the repulsive forces acting on the colloidal particles will decrease. Clear? So if repulsion decreases, the electrostatic repulsion will decrease on the colloidal particles, and that is why they will not go apart, but rather they will come closer to each other and they will precipitate out. So here in this particular topic we have discussed two factors which are responsible for destabilizing the colloid. One, the absence of double layer. Clear? And second, if more electrolyte is added. Clear? So these two part you have to remember very well. So the whole topic, that is the charges on colloidal particle, it can be asked in 3 marks question, that how colloidal particles become charged, become electrically charged. Explain with illustration. So you have to explain in detail. Clear? And you have to mention these reasons also which are responsible for the charges on colloidal particle. Then you can give any one of these two examples, and then with this diagram you can explain the Helmholtz electrical double layer. With double layer, what are the advantages? Without double layer, what are disadvantages? And if more electrolyte is added to the dispersion medium or to the colloidal sole, then what is the disadvantage? Clear? So that also you can explain. So the whole topic can be asked in 3 marks short note. Clear? Now let us go to the 6th property of colloid, and this is again very important for 2 marks. It is electrophoresis. This is electrical property of colloidal sole. Clear? Electrophoresis. Now in this topic we discussed that colloidal sole are always electrically charged. Clear? Either positively or negatively charged. If they don't carry any charge, then they will aggregate and they will precipitate out, they will settle down, and so the colloid will become unstable. But due to the presence of positive or negative electrical charges, these colloidal particles, they remain dispersed. Clear? And that is why the colloid remains stable. But now as we have studied the presence of the electrical charge on the colloidal particles, how this the presence of charge on the colloidal particles can be confirmed. So it is by electrophoresis. Now this is the electrophoresis device in which the colloidal sole is filled. So blue dots, they represent the colloidal sole. Clear? Now here these two platinum electrodes, they are dipped in the colloidal solution, and the electrical voltage is applied across these two platinum electrodes. So the negative electrode is cathode and the positive electrode is anode. Now suppose this colloidal solution is positively charged. If it is positively charged, then colloidal particles, positively charged colloidal particles will be attracted towards cathode. So they will start moving towards cathode and they will get gathered here around this cathode, and so the colloid will be destroyed. Or if the colloid is negatively charged like this, clear, then this negatively charged colloidal particles will be attracted by anode. So they will move towards anode and they will get collected near anode, and so also the colloid will get destroyed. Clear? Now anyhow, if this electrophoresis is prevented by any means, then it is observed that there is migration or there is a movement of the dispersion medium. Now here the dispersion medium is water. Clear? So DM means dispersion medium. So when this electrophoresis is prevented by any means, then the dispersion medium particles will start moving. This movement of dispersion medium particle is known as electroosmosis. Clear? So what is electroosmosis? Electroosmosis is the movement of the particles of dispersion medium when electrophoresis is prevented. Is that clear? So now what is electrophoresis? So it is the phenomenon in which the colloidal particles, they move towards the electrodes, either positive or negative electrodes, when the electrical potential or when the electrical voltage is applied across the electrodes. Clear? So the movement of colloidal particles towards electrodes is called electrophoresis, and the movement of the particles of dispersion medium when the electrophoresis is prevented, that is known as electroosmosis. Clear? So this is again very important topic for 2 marks question, means a short note. You can be asked that write a note on electrophoresis. Clear? So you have to explain with a diagram, and you also have to mention this concept of electroosmosis. One more property of colloidal soul is left. Clear? And that is coagulation or aggregation of colloid. So that we will discuss. So till then,